How much protein do you need? Some might say you need not so much. Some might say you need a lot. Well, let's take a look at this. Going back before we had a whole bunch of science going into the ideal ratios of protein and how the body assimilates protein, the first bodybuilders around 100 years ago were not really interested in that. These guys generally took about 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, or about half a gram per kilo or less, and they got still pretty big. That said, they didn't get as big as some of the later bodybuilders, and I'm not going to get into the whole steroid debate in this talk, but it stands to reason that if you're going to build a lot of muscle, you're going to need a lot of protein. Now, one of the things that no one really talks about when they're talking about how much protein do you really need is that really, to some extent, your body can tell you when you need protein. If you're working out and lifting, there's a really distinct feeling that you'll get if you do a workout and you don't have any protein for a little while. It's almost a feeling like you've got sort of hollow bones. And I know that's not really a scientific method of determining your protein needs, but look, there really is a specific feel to when you are quite deprived on protein. You'll find that if you are lifting heavy, that you find your protein needs go up. You might find that just that one regular 30 grams of protein after a workout might not quite hit it. You might need a bit more. And again, it comes down to your body weight and your size. If you're a 100 pound or a 40-50 kilo small person, then you're going to need potentially half the amount of protein that a 200 pound person would. And that said, there might be two people that are both 200 pounds and they may well have different protein needs even though they're the same weight. It may be to do with one having more lean mass, which really essentially is one of the keys here. If you're a really heavy lifter and you've been building up a guy like Arnie or something, you're years into it, your protein needs are going to be vastly different than someone that's just getting into it that might have a rather relatively smaller amount of lean mass. So just bear in mind, it's an individual thing. It's something that you can sense for yourself to some extent, and it depends on the work you're doing. If you're doing a really heavy workout, your protein needs are going to be higher than if you were just sedentary or just doing maybe some light walking. So just bear that in mind, that it's not just a factor of how you are, how much protein do I need for my body weight, how much protein do I need for my activity, and what kind of work are we trying to do here? Are we trying to build mass? Are we trying to cut mass? We've just got to be a little bit careful. Particularly whey protein's fantastic, but it does absorb really quickly, and it can give you quite an insulin spike. So, and often it's quite sweet and tasty. So you've got to be really careful not to overdo it with the whey proteins, and with just eating in general when it comes to getting your needs. You don't want to completely ignore protein, or you're going to have serious problems. It's essential for life. In fact, is, as we know, a mixture of essential and non-essential amino acids. Essential meaning your body can't produce them, so you've got to get them. There's no debate about that. The question about how much really comes down to how big am I, what am I trying to achieve, and then what's really going to be a smart amount of doing it. We really don't want to get into too much about the time windows or anything when we're talking about how much. It's more important to think about, all right, I've got this ability within me to see how much protein I need. My body's going to tell me to some extent. So listen to your internal clock, follow the science, but also think about what am I doing, what are my needs, and let your body tell you to some extent what you're going to need. Signing out, have a great day.